All right, let's talk about Baba Adeboye real quick. He had some advice. If you married the wrong person, he said you should do this. Let's just play the video, and then I want to hear Brother Ben, and then we'll wrap this up.
Those of you who have already married the wrong fellow, there's no room for divorce. Just carry your cross and follow Jesus. His grace will be sufficient for you.
His grace will be sufficient.
Don't ever think that you can marry somebody and then change the fellow.
Right, good point, good point.
If the fellow does not change,
just carry your cross.
Before you marry, it's a settled matter. No problem. I am standing on the rock of ages. And that brother, that sister, I know she's still... Those of you who have already married the wrong fellow, better to be single than to be married to the devil.
Ish.
Do you agree with that?
Yes, 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 yes.
If you marry the wrong fellow, you are in soup. Several years ago, a friend of mine says to me, is that EA? Because we are close, so we call ourselves by initials. I said, yes. He said, I want to divorce my wife.
Yes, okay, yes, okay.
If you do that, you will go to hell. He said, where have I been since the day I married? I pray for all of you. You will never marry the wrong fellow. Better to be seen.
Anyway, but Abeno, your turn. What's your take on what Baba has to say?
I think Baba is speaking from the point of view of a man of God and an elderly person.
Right.
I don't really think that is obtainable nowadays. That is not obtainable. That I'm just going by what Baba said, that if you marry the wrong person and you try to change that person and it didn't work out, you just have to accept your fate.
That part, that one thing, right?
Yeah, get out of that relationship as fast as you can. That's what I would say.
With all this news, that of people buying, says a love buy me and I buy. Love key you there. When I heard it, okay, that first line was kind of inflammatory. Everything else is said after that, I couldn't really disagree with. I know you and I have had conversations also before when we talked about marrying the right person or marrying the wrong person. Personally, I don't think that is a thing. But there's a lot of context to me saying that. There's a lot of behind the scene context to me saying that if you marry the person, you marry that person. The fact that they are right or wrong is literally irrelevant. You marry that person. You have choices. You can divorce that person. You have options. So, and I also think everyone that's ever gotten married, you've gone through a moment that you questioned your choice. No matter how happy the marriage is today, you've gone through a moment where you felt like you've married the wrong person. And now you're in a place of bliss and you're thinking your head that you didn't do something stupid at that time to discard them because of some moment of terrible, there's some people like that. There's some people that it's just too much for them. We can't use one person to measure the other person. It's just too much for them. It's better for them to leave, because if they don't buy them, they will buy somebody else. Right?
Certainly.
So it's a case by case thing. That line coming from in my opinion, the most influential person in Nigeria, in my opinion. That line saying you just carry your cross, that line is dangerous. Because there are people that literally take that to heart and they stay. And they are carrying cross that they can't carry. It is okay to leave a relationship if it's not working. It doesn't have to be a permanent decision, but leave first.
Yes, sir. And
Be
that's why I
first.
said Baba is speaking as an elderly man and at the same time as a clergyman. Of course, you can't expect somebody in his position to say, "Oh, you have to divorce, so you have to leave." That would be the next trendy thing. People that Baba Adeboye is aiming then divorce, so
I
people
know.
just gonna read the wrong meaning to it. Um, but if we look at it based on what is happening around us now, you marry somebody, you're not compatible, you try to work it out, it's not working out. Nah, divorce is a solution, not a
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah. At that
And
point.
it's
Yeah.
nothing to be ashamed of.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Where and you know, some people push against us and say we are, even including you, say we are teaching them to leave their marriage. Remember that conversation when we say things like divorce is a solution. Some people interpret that. A lot of men, thank God you're always here representing the man's point of view, right? A lot of men will say you are teaching women to leave their marriage because you said divorce is a solution. But we're talking about a certain type of marriage. That marriage is not working.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, if it's not working, it's not working. Them leaving might actually be what you need first before you can actually bring it back together again or pick up the pieces again. And if you can't bring it back together again, there you have your answer. It wasn't meant to be. You know?
Oh, AGOIO said, easy on the guys. What about the other party?
Same
Um,
thing. Same thing. I teach men to call the police. If a person pick up,
yeah,
if a woman pick up something and smack it on your head, or she's pushing your head like this, and you think you're normal, she's a woman. No, call the police. Let her sleep in jail for 2 nights.
yeah,
Make sure it's a Friday. No, don't wait until it's Friday. But it's better if it's a Friday, so she can sleep for 3 days, because the judge will not answer to her until Monday morning. Right? When she come home, you will settle it. If you don't settle it, it's okay. But it's not okay for anybody to be laying hands on anybody in the name of my gender is allowed to do that. No, it is not okay. You know, but when it comes to the emotional aspect of things, we have a lot of work to do, and you've said it earlier on. Patience.
yeah. It's patience.
Patience.
But you are even nice. My own approach is somehow a little bit different from yours. My thing is, if you are having a situation whereby you get to that point that you felt compelled to put your hands on each other.
Yeah.
And here I will talk to men first, because men are always the one who do the hitting first. Although there are some women that
Right.
equally do, but most cases men are the one
Most of
who,
those
out of
reported cases.
frustration, out of frustration, they like to hit. My own thing is, once you and your wife's situation is getting to that point that you feel I have to slap her, let me reset her brain, bro.
Don't do it all.
That's the time to call your lawyer and get out of that marriage. That's
Don't do
just
it
my
all.
own. So that's why I said you are even more patient than my own approach self, my own way in life.
You just say that marriage is poto straight.
Yes. So once you get to that point that you have to hit her, bro, it's time to leave. I always tell guys that, look, women are not the only one who have the liberty to divorce. You
No.
can
Yeah.
also fight for divorce.
Yes.
You can tell a judge, I don't think I'm safe in this marriage. I think I'm being emotionally abused. I think I'm being psychologically abused. My mental health is affected based on what this woman is doing to me. I want to be separated from her. I want
Right.
a divorce. That's just my own approach, because I've always believed in friendship. When you're married to somebody, your first goal is to make your wife your friend. And as a woman, your first goal also is to make your husband your friend. I don't know, maybe I'm coming from a different place, but my thing is this. How do you claim you enjoy your marriage when your wife is not your best friend or your husband is not your best friend?
They are doing it all.
I don't get it. I don't know
Sadly.
if you get where I'm coming from.
I get it. They are doing it sadly, and it doesn't
Yeah.
work out. It's
Yeah.
just prison yard. They are just being roommates. A lot of
Because
couples are playing roommates.
yeah, that's not the way it's supposed to be. Because to me, I've always believed that there is marriage and there is friendship. Okay,
Yeah.
when you got married, you agree that, okay, we want to do this thing according to what God said we should do, that we should embrace the marriage institution. So that is like a formality kind of to me. The second part is, you are married now, you've become one. So we are supposed to be the best friend, and that is why I'm big on transparency and trust.
Right. You should
Because
bring that person into your world. It
yeah,
should be in
for
your
you
world.
guys to become best friend as a couple, you need transparency and you need trust. Now,
Yeah.
how you get to the point where you are now transparent,
That's
and
where
you
the
both
issue
trust
is.
each other, now kata kata they happen.
That's where me and you they rub friction. How? Because once it's messy, how do we get? Because I agree we should be in that space, but when it's messy, that journey to get there, you know, we have to be strategic about that, and we can't, you know, it's case by case by case. Everybody's situation is different, you know. But yeah, number one point of focus here in our framework here has always been friendship. I put sex as number 2 there. I put 3 number. We already talked about expectations today, and then we also talk about managing. You have to manage those 3, and number 4, you have to manage them. If you manage them well, sex and friendship is stuff. That's the goal. That you're always doing that, you know, from time to time. And we're not talking about people that have medical conditions, of course. Yeah, thank you so much for that, brother Ben. Let me round up this. That was a quick, nice one. Let me see. Agreed, speaker. There should be mutual understanding. Yes. Now, how, like he said, how we get there when it's already messy is where I come in on Man of Prestige, right? That's where the wahala did.
Oh, all the problem we have around marriage nowadays is how do we get to a place whereby we both understood each other?
Yeah,
we get our own communication, we form our own culture. I mean, our married culture, not the traditional culture, our own tradition,
your own home, your own that.
Yes. And speaking to that tradition, if you just spare me 1 minute, I saw the video you played about Mrs. Kingsley Mildred. I think that's her name.
Right.
I watched that video over and over and I smiled.
No, we'll go talk. I want to round up this section and then we'll talk about that. That's our additional bonus section. All right, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Do me a favor, hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications. Let me know what your thoughts are about Baba Adeboye's opinion. You agree, you disagree, you are in between, you think he's just an elderly man, it's just context. It's just tell me what your thoughts are about it. And if you like that segment, you definitely like the next one. And I'll be right back.
It's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Me love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, one enough.